Welcome to the fight of your life. Are you willing to die to shine? Power, nobody is taking us down. We are here for the crown of sound. Power.
Our next guest on the Power Hour is Pete Loeffler from the band Chevelle, who's their guitarist and vocalist. And it's so great to see you. Pete, what's up? How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the fact that your last album, I loved it. It was called Nothing Is Real, and This Is a Simulation. Of course, you abbreviated that. But I did love the concept record. And now that festival season is starting again, I think a lot of your fans want to know, are you working on a new record? What is the plan right now? Will there be one with some touring?
Yeah, you bet, man. We we put Neuradius out in 21, and so we didn't really tour on it. So kind of like it had a good impact, but I think we only played, 30 or 40 shows on that album. But, it's kind of old news now, and we have 10 new tracks. Sam and I have been, working hard when we can, when we get away from the kiddos for a minute. He's got 3 kids and I've got 1. So, we're home a lot. So, but yeah, we work here in my little studio. We have 10 tracks. They're all in demo form, but I'm stoked. I'm excited about them. So they're pretty heavy, and I don't know. I hope people like them. We're just happy to be here, man. Still going. So you know what I mean?
I always feel like Chevelle is. Whenever I see you guys on a bill for a festival, I always get pumped up and excited because I never miss a set from Chevelle when they're at the festivals. And I had an embarrassing moment in 2021 at Louder Than Life with Pete and Sam. I don't even know if they remember. I'm sure Sam does because he's brought it up to me before.
I want to hear it.
But,
I want to hear this.
So it was like during the festival, and you know how across from the track they had all those restaurants and there was this big one. I can't remember what it was called. It was kind of like pubby, like American style food. And I'm in there. I hadn't ate all day. I was so slammed. I was so busy. And my husband was like, okay, let's go quickly get food across the street because catering was done. And then we'll hop on over back to the festival. And so I'm there, and I'm such a nacho person. Like, I love my nachos. So I get this huge plate of nachos just for myself. And I'm like shoveling these nachos into my face. And I'm like full of nachos. Okay, I'm like this. And Sam and Pete come up to the table. They're like, Katie, hey, how are you? And I shit you not, I had sour cream and guacamole on my face.
Did
and I
you
was
spit
like,
it out like John Belushi in Animal House?
This was my reaction. I was like, what? And I was like, hey guys, you caught me at a good moment. And they kind of like started laughing at me a little bit. And Hayden's just looking at me like, oh my God, Katie, like chew what's in your mouth.
Yeah,
that's funny. So Pete, does Sam give her a hard time about that every time now that
he does. He's kind of that dude. But I remember he started like eating your nachos, and you're like, get the hell away from me.
No, I can't finish a full plate of nachos. So I was like, oh, please help me out. And Sam right away was like, oh, what do we got here? Some help.
It's like when the waiter comes over and asks you how you're doing as the foods are like already in your mouth. And you can't ask for anything.
That's the big brother in
him. And you got something in your mouth, and he comes and just stands there, and you kind of feel very awkward at that moment. It definitely.
But that is one of my embarrassing moments with Chevelle. Then afterwards, both of you guys invited me like, oh, well, like for our set, you should come side stage and put in the in-ears, and you can really get like the full listening experience. And I couldn't do it because I had an interview and I had to catch their set late. So I was kind of bummed out, but maybe
next time
in the next couple of years.
Next time,
which is great.
Anytime.
Pete, one of my favorite memories is playing Frisbee with you and your brother, just like at one of the festivals. I mean, it might have been Ozfest, might have been a DWP Fest, but it's a long time ago. And I still I have this memory of us out there throwing a Frisbee in the afternoon because you guys were just killing time out by your tour bus, and we just hung out.
Yeah, I mean, you'll do anything on tour after a while. After about 3 weeks, you've done it all, so you need to start bringing other sports things out with you. But I don't remember that exactly, but it's been a long road, hasn't it, Matt?
It absolutely has been a long road since we started doing something.
A lot of shows and a lot of drinking. And a lot of other stuff. So,
which is why I don't drink anymore. It's funny, but I mean, I did my amount of drinking. I think for me and about 10 other people. But hey, I'm still here and still ready to rock. But it was great, Hey, what is your plans for this summer? Are you going to be out doing some? Let's talk about some of the shows and things you're going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing some Danny Wimmer festivals. That's what we're working on right now. I think a few of those have been released, like Sonic Temple, etc. But we're working on, trying to find some bands to do some bigger shows with in the fall right now. I know our team, we just got back from LA a couple days ago, and we met with our team. We're, throwing things around. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of friends, but you got to book things so far in advance now, So, we're looking around at our friends, but they're kind of releasing tours left and right now. We want to hit the road, but we also want to get this album recorded. So our plan is to do that, in April or May. And then, obviously we have shows in May, but then after that, it's kind of up in the air. Like we want to do more shows, but we're kind of just seeing how it's going, just talking to people at this point.
So Pete, obviously, Chevelle are such great veterans of all these incredible DWP festivals. When you guys play a festival set, how do you guys mentally prepare for something like that, as opposed to saying when it's your headlining set? Of course, there could be some brand new fans who never heard you before.
Yeah, I mean, usually you get like a 50-minute set for a festival or an hour, So you do want to kind of throw those ones at them that they know that they sing along to, but we've started throwing in deeper cuts as well, even at festivals, just because it's been so long. Like we don't play a lot of songs. Like I'll just throw them out at you, like the radio songs. We haven't played Jars in a long time. We haven't played, Closure or these older tracks. We're just like, and I don't know how fans feel about that, but we try and just play the energetic shit at festivals now. And it's like, if it connects, everybody seems to have fun and doesn't complain. So, I mean, we want to, I don't know, you want to switch it up a little bit here and there, but there are time-honored ones that work, like songs
Send
like
the Pain Below is like still one of the greatest songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that song.
We're still playing that one. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. That it is wild though. It's like, that I think that record came out in 2001 or 2002. Yeah. So it's wild though, because like, you go and look at your Spotify list and you're like, okay, it's all old music on the top at that, the home screen, the top 5. You're like, how do I get like Mars Simula from the latest record up into that? I really don't know, because you want to play that new shit too.
Yeah.
But I get it. Hey, it's a thing. Whatever. The Red is still like the most popular song we've ever done.
Yeah.
And we still play it every show. But
I love Jars. That's my favorite.
I mean, it's like, but we've also gone like heavier in our later years. Like a lot of our team, when we play them the new stuff, they're always like, oh, this is heavier than the last. And a lot of bands go the other way. They go they start out heavy and then they're like, oh, well, maybe we need some radio cuts, or we put some harmonies, some producer gets involved or whatever. But we're actually going away from that and going heavier. It's just what we like to play live, So we're focusing on.
I can't help but stare at all the cool items behind you on your walls, including your skulls and the Crybaby Wah and everything else. Are you a collector of things and horror?
I have a couple of things that I like, but I don't collect a ton of stuff. Mostly guitars and instruments, pedals. I posted a photo of my
gold records.
Yeah, right. Those things. Are those even a thing anymore? But yeah, I have a couple of those, but they are hard to come by.
Yes.
It's hard to move those hard, copies.
Yeah.
But I actually, you want to see something crazy that I found? Actually, my wife bought it for me. Let me grab it from the shelf. Sit tight.
We do. Big reveal.
Oh, what's it gonna be?
Got a big reveal. See,
what's in the box?
You said that you were
An action
a nerd.
figure.
We're all nerds.
We're all nerds.
Yeah,
An action figure.
Music nerd.
This is kind of funny, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this. This is like
Crystar, the Crystal Warrior.
super old, right? Yeah.
And famously, Danzig stole his logo from the original Crystar comic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like old, I mean, it's in the packaging, and my wife got it for me. I think it was like $150, which is
That's
crazy,
like double packaging. It's like a packaging
I
within
love that.
your site.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, I've
never found another one. This is hilarious because I'm not a huge collector, but this is a toy that I played with when I was like 7 years old. And when I found it on eBay, I was like, can we get this? And she got it, for like Christmas
That's
present. or whatever.
amazing.
That's
I
a good
love
wife.
it.
That
That's
is-
You know,
that's a great
isn't
wife.
it weird how you get older and you just want to like physically hold the things that you had growing up, especially when you have a kid. You know, we have an 8-year-old, and all this stuff's coming back now. So
That's amazing.
Love it.
That's
Well,
why
I didn't expect to talk about Crystar today, but I'm so glad. I'm so glad we did, and we'll show the footage later. If you look closely at the one of the Crystar covers drawn by the incredible Michael Golden, the famous Danzig skull with the horns was co-opted from that comic. And
dude, I love
Really-
Danzig. I did not know that. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that info.
Yeah.
That's cool.
see that.
Fun
Learn
fact.
something new
Fun
every
fact.
every day from these two guys.
I told you I
over
was a
here.
nerd.
I love it.
Bring it.
Well, we're all nerds tonight. We're proud of it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because we love music so much, right?
Yeah, you want to be a nerd. You don't want to be a dork, right?
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah.
what it is.
All right, so after seeing this Super Bowl commercial that
yeah.
features Ozzy Osbourne, Joan Jett, Billy Idol, Paul Stanley of Kiss, it's about like misusing the term rock star. And I'll totally admit, like, I have misused it over the years. Like, my mom does something cool. I'm like, Mom, you're such a rock star. Come on, I'm not the only person who's done that, right?
Absolutely.
So, like,
Yes.
how do you guys feel about the term being misused or properly used?
Pete, who is the ultimate rock star? You can give us more than one, but who would you say really embodies the word rock star and deserves that term?
I mean, immediately David Bowie comes to mind. I mean, how do you? I mean, he was such an innovator, you know.
Yes.
I mean, you could go down the line. I mean, you got Ozzy, you know, you've got, you know, hey, you've got Johnny Depp. I mean, come on.
It's true.
It's true. He's totally a rock star.
Yeah.
But he makes a great point. Bowie was doing the limos and the outfits and everything even before he could afford it. He was putting forth that persona before the bills came in at the time.
Yeah, that's a great story about that.
That's a really good point. Of there was Mick Jagger and other people, but the lifestyle, which is I think what people talk about too.
Dude, I stayed up till like 10:30 last night, so I am a bona fide rock star. I mean,
He's a
what
rock
happens.
star.
Yeah.
Now you're a rock star
Right, man?
dad, so that's what it comes down to. It's like, you got to take care of the kids too.
I think Ozzy would probably be my number one choice, just knowing like the weird shit that he would do back in the day, but also like Steven Tyler of Aerosmith after knowing everything that he got into. It's just pretty wild. But
I
then,
have to say all the above. I agree with you all.
yeah, like you can loop and rope so many people into this category, like Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. And,
different genres. I mean, go down the
Poison,
line. But I had a fun experience with Ozzy at his house before we did the second year of Ozfest. They asked us back. We did the first, which is this, the opening stage, which was like 9:30 a.m. You remember when they did that? It was
Yes. I
was
do,
like-
because I had to make one of those albums. I was the guy who was the A&R guy and had to be there to make sure all the recording went on the Ozfest record. So I made one of the albums and I had to be there all day for the 2 days to make sure we got at least one good take of every band to put on the Ozfest live album.
Yeah, man. I ended up going to Ozzy's house, and I think it was like, it was like Jonathan from Korn, Marilyn Manson, Ozzy, us, and somebody else. And I was such a nerd. I'm like freaking out. I cut myself shaving. Why did I shave? I was like, what? I'm going to see Ozzy. I better get cleaned up. And we're sitting in his TV room and he's watching the news. And Sam and I walk in. And he gets up and he comes over and he shakes our hand. He was the sweetest dude ever. First time like really hanging out with him. And he's offering us like coffee. Do we want anything to drink? And then we just sit on the couch and watch the news and shoot the shit. It was such an amazing day. And then we sat down in his kitchen with all these, reporters, all these like journalists. And Marilyn Manson just says he's going to shove a mic up my ass. So that was my introduction to main stage Ozfest in Ozzy's kitchen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Turned into a whole
I'm
thing.
surprised Marilyn Manson's never come out with his own lube line.
You never know if he has. You never know. But I could say that's an incredible, that's amazing.
Pete, thank you so much for being here on the Power Hour and being one of our first guests. We really appreciate you and hope to see you
anytime.
very soon. Hopefully this time I won't have nachos stuffed in my face.
And bring a Frisbee when you come to one of the DWP festivals. So
Hell yeah, you got it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, good job, guys.
Good.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks so much, Pete.